Hey guys, welcome back to Comics Reels. Today I am going over my review for episode 2 of DCU Lanterns. DC has been, in my opinion, kind of hit or miss lately. I enjoyed Superman when it came out last year. Creature Commandos, Peacemaker Season 2 was kind of a letdown in my opinion, as well as Supergirl that came out earlier this year. But I was more intrigued and more excited about Lanterns because the people who are working on it with Damon Lindelof from who did Lost, and when they said that the DCU Lanterns is going to be more of a true detective type of show, and HBO, in my opinion, are the king of prestige television, that late night Sundays premiere of the shows. So I was looking forward to it with the Kyle Chandler being cast as Hal and Aaron Pierre being cast as Jon Stewart. I was very excited. Last week, I thought it was an amazing first episode, first pilot. It built up the story of arc of the dynamic of like a buddy cop of Hal and John's relationship, and they jumped from the different timelines of 2016, and then we saw later of the ending, which, spoiler alert, it showed that Hal dies, and Aaron Pierre, who has is just Jon Stewart, goes out there in the snow, sees the desolated town, and goes to the football field to see him frozen in time. And the jumping back and forth point of view I thought was very unique. And the cliffhanger, all week my mind and was just racing about like what's going to be next, like what are they going to do next. And coming into tonight's episode, I was like, what are they going to stay in the present, or are they going to go back into the past? And immediately off the bat, they start off the episode with Hal coming into the motel room and pouring the bucket of water on Jon Stewart's face. And then they were teaching him of how to fly, and he couldn't fly. And he goes on a mission to go recharge the lantern while Hal is investigating the aliens and at the football field and at the court. And then he gets attacked by the people who own the land, which I'm very, it's almost kind of like Yellowstone or like Landman, like the CBS shows of like, it's set in a country town in like a rural Nebraska, and the dynamic of that with the sheriff, who they were very close with, that Hal is, or apparently likes, but she is married to, in my opinion, I think, as an alien. So I think that's a interesting dynamic. And then we see later on in the show, when Hal's injured, he's recovering in the hospital, it's almost like it's a ghost town. Like there's nobody there in the hospital. And when earlier in the episode, when I was driving around and he flew up to go see like where everyone was, you could see like there's no people in the streets, kids in the town. It was just an isolated town, which leads me to believe that I think that whole town are full of manhunters, and that's going to be the reveal later on in the season. I also appreciated Jon Stewart. He's gaining respect slowly to Hal because, another spoiler alert, Hal Jordan isn't long to be the Lantern for the DCU. And it's going to be a pass on a baton. And I thought they did that very well, of setting up that transition, but not right away. Like, yes, in the first episode, they showed it, like, okay, Hal's dead, but keeping a guy like Kyle Chandler back for a full season and building that whole story and the whole arc of how they got from A to B or A to Z, it was phenomenal. Especially the ending with when Hal flies back and goes to see Sinestro. And so Sinestro, he's asking about, what do you know about the Manhunters? And what I want to say about the Manhunters is I remember watching the Supergirl, the CW version, was like my introduction to the Manhunters. And they did a little bit about the Martian Manhunters in the disguise there. But having in the Lantern show is very fascinating. And plus, the live action Sinestro, whoever plays him, I don't know the actor's name by heart, but man, he looks just like the comic book accurate version of Sinestro. So I am excited about heading into next Sunday, about what is next. We're going to get obviously more dialogue with Sinestro, and I want to see how Sinestro's and Hal's relationship was. And I'm also looking forward to maybe they do flash forward back into the present 2026 more and better on with the current events, unless they're going to wait till the end of the season. But overall, episode 2 of the DCU Lantern show was a great success. Shout out to everyone at the DCU. Been getting a lot of flack and heat lately about the future of the DCU, like with the Paramount version, whatever. But just great superhero television, and I got to say, like, a round of applause for them because 2 great episodes back to back, banger after banger, and I cannot wait for next week. If you guys like this review, please give me a like, subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel. You can follow me at Comics Reels on X, on Instagram, right here on the YouTube channel. I'll be covering more Marvel, DC, film and television news later this week, as well as other news that comes out in the media in the worlds of films and television.